Digital facelift of citizen services is a testimony of government's approach towards transforming governance and enabling equitable access to all. For citizens, however, it becomes a bit challenging to avail services online, especially in smaller towns and villages. So, can a technology like digital kiosk be an answer to this? Hi, I'm Adarsh Som from ETGovernment, and to shed light on the subject, today I have with me Mr. Ashish Nigam, the founder and director at VirtuBox. So, in this episode, we'll explore smart governance, effective delivery of citizen services, and bridging the citizen government connect. Hi, Ashish. Welcome to this episode of Public Sector Leadership Series.
Thank you, Adarsh, for keeping me in the session. This is a very wonderful initiative by ET for inviting people and talking about the government services, what kind of government-related activities companies are doing, and letting people know, letting people learn how they can utilize these services or this kind of technology in their government operation.
So, thank you, Ashish, for sparing time. And Ashish, I would like to know, before we get into the main set of questions, know a bit about your journey and VirtuBox journey. So, can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, definitely. We started VirtuBox in 2016. It was an idea of creating a platform to build mobile app. Before that, I was running another service company. Started some time back about software services. During that phase, we realized that a lot of companies have smaller budget and they want to have a high quality mobile app and websites and all the things. So we realized that having a builder in this segment would be an interesting idea to start a new product company. That's why we started VirtuBox. Over the period of time, we realized that the technology are evolving in such a way that large touch screens using in the public space are becoming common over the period of time. We saw the future in 2017-18 that it will be very common in the longer run, and we pivoted to the kiosk solution. And that is how we started putting our focus on developing the entire platform for the kiosk solution. In general, whatever company they want, if they want to build a kiosk-based solution, they want few common things. For example, the security layer, the single-use device requirement, the information or communication, interaction, user interface, all things are common requirement for everyone. So we decided to build a platform around this ecosystem and then integrating the services required by different organizations and companies. We have built more than 100 modules which are ready to use by anyone. And this is where VirtuBox is. We have a platform which can deliver services in a day or two sometime to a new client, and both for government and private sectors. And this is where VirtuBox is right now.
So, Ashish, as you just mentioned about the government and the public sector, so you people have been working with the government departments and the public sector companies, right? So, during this time, what were some of the key challenges that you think or that you've witnessed the government and the public sector were facing while they were delivering or trying to deliver their services through online mediums to the people?
Most of the government departments, when they think about putting a kiosk solutions, they usually start thinking about what need to be done there, what kind of interface they need to have, what kind of security they need to have, what kind of technology they should use to build this system. These are the hurdles which they need to cross before thinking about the integrating of the services itself during the implementation time. The technology is evolving at a very rapid rate nowadays, right? You see, whatever was there 2 years back looks outdated now. For the government department, keeping at the pace of this technological evolution is very challenging, very difficult for them to make sure that they are up to date with the technologies. When we approach any government organizations or PSUs for our services, we first tell them that the entire ecosystem is ready for them, entire platform is ready for them. They just need to think about the service part. Rest of things are taken care, that can be delivered on the next day itself. So the key challenges which I feel is that time for thinking about or understanding the latest technology and coping up and updating the technology. For prototyping, they also need to invest a lot of time to make the entire system running. We in a VirtuBox can deliver the prototype at a very fast pace, like in a day or two sometime. The third thing which the government always thinks about the cost, because in India is a cost sensitive market. They all think about the cost, that how uh, to reduce the cost so that they can spread the solution at the scale. If somebody want to give a solution at one location only, that's much simpler to do. The cost sometimes doesn't matter much. However, if they want to think about the scale, they have to think about the cost, because the scale factor explode the costing part. Here at VirtuBox, we work as a pay as you go or pay as you grow, which how much system you want to use, you have to pay only that much part, and on the monthly and yearly recurring basis instead of paying upfront for the entire development time. So these are the challenge that government face about the cost, about the time, about the learning, the technology, and we have taken care of that by building the platform and providing software as a service.
So Ashish, I very well echo with what you said, that being a government ecosystem, they are catering to such a huge volume of people, and with so many services are in place, and managing all the back end work. Of course, the time and energy to develop and understand new technologies and then deliver on those points or those frontiers, of course, becomes very difficult, and that's why government do tie up with a lot of public companies and the private companies, right, for such tasks. I do agree with your point, but if we talk about the digital services that the government is providing to the people at the grassroots, so government has a CSC model, right, Common Services Centers model, wherein there are certain common services centers which are deployed in small towns or in villages, and those are catering to a particular population. Do you think your solution, a digital kiosk, can further empower this model or enable them to serve citizens better?
Yes, definitely. The CSCs are the very wonderful initiative by government to have the digital India activities in India, in which they are providing various digital services, digital literacy, or the certificate services, for example, birth certificate, death certificate, income tax certificate, or if somebody want to pay the electricity bill, water bill, or any kind of bill, those services are provided at the CSC level, and government has done a wonderful job doing that. We with VirtuBox will complement CSCs to enable them deliver services in more efficient way. So at present, at the rush time, many people are coming for the repetitive activities. For example, a lot of people are coming for, let's say, water bill payment or electricity bill payment, or let's say address update in Aadhaar, or PAN card update request, or something like that, right? These are the repetitive job which can be done efficiently with the kiosk itself. So with VirtuBox platform, we can integrate, and we have done few integration also with the government, where people can go to the screen and do the activity themselves, which means the VLEs, the village level entrepreneurs of the CSCs, can focus on spending their time on the more advanced activities which require the human intervention, and sending all the citizens who require the repetitive activities on the public screen like yours. Here I can share an example of the Me Seva. Me Seva is a Hyderabad-based, Telangana-based government CSC model system, where people can go to their center and avail more than 300-400 services. With VirtuBox integration, we have already deployed the kiosks in their Me Seva centers. It's in the pilot run at present. They can, any citizen can go and put their details and print the birth certificates in a matter of few minutes. They need to just put the acknowledgement number, make the payment, and get the birth certificate. They can make the electricity bill payment. They can make the water bill payment. At these service screens are 100% self-driven. No one need to assist anyone. These are also like multilingual model, and these are standard, which means if the person go to any screen across the places where the screen was installed, they can avail the services. Same thing can be adopted in the entire CSC ecosystem, where the CSC can have a screen where the citizens can avail the services, and it will be uniform across the places. There is a wonderful component in our ecosystem, is that the entire content and entire services can be managed from the center location. So let's say there's a new government policies, and the government want to let citizens know about those policies, those services. Those can be managed and controlled from the central location where the CSCs will get that information automatically without doing anything. Uh, CSC doesn't have to follow different website to do different activity because everything is integrated in one unified method. So learning curve will be less. It will be much easier for citizens to avail the services. It will be much easier for the government to let the people know about the services, because awareness of the service is also very important. So we are working on the information kiosk segment also, which information, spreading the information is very important. People need to know which kind of the let's say government policies they can avail, which kind of insurance policy they can get, which kind of health policies they can avail. Those information also need to be passed on to the citizen, which can be done and controlled by the center head office of the CSCs. So this will definitely help the CSC and such kind of ecosystem to spread the information and serve more to the citizen at the same given point of time. Along with this, CSCs also have a certain time frame for work. This is there's the working hours, but the screens are the machines which can work for longer hours without any break. So even if someone is not at the CSC center, the machines can still be switched on by anyone, or by the security person, or by the operation guys, and the citizens can come and avail the services. If you are traveling from north to south and you want to avail some service, you know that you just have to go to CSC and you know how the screen will work. Every ecosystem, the entire ecosystem will be exactly same. The experience will be same. It will be easy for people to avail the service in such a way.
That's an interesting take, Ashish, for this. And looking at the solution which you just mentioned, that how this is all centralized, and centrally monitored. So people, irrespective of in which geography they are, be it in the north or south or west or east, any part of India, if they'll get the similar kind of information regarding government policies or government actions on your kiosks, right? And CSCs, of course, as you mentioned, that these kiosks can definitely empower and enable these CSCs to deliver better services. Now, but if when we talk about the demographics that we have in India, so it's a very diverse country, right? And the language especially changes out in every, let's say, 100 kilometers, right? So do you think that there is a high time that we need to have some LLM models that should be installed with these kiosks, so that it can basically serve the information in the local language, and people will be able to interact with the screen in a more better and efficient manner? So is VirtuBox doing that? Are you leveraging Gen AI models?
Yes, definitely. So as I said at the initial stage, that evolving with technology, learning technology are challenge for the government and for the private sector. We are actually doing that mainly. So yes, we are also working with the Gen AI to work with different language models. Our VirtuBox solution supports multilingual ecosystem, which means a screen can support multiple languages at the same time. Let's say I went there, I want to have used in the English language. Somebody from other state want to use their own local language. They can just switch the language, entire screen changes. As I mentioned in the example of Miss Eva, they are using 3 different languages: English, Hindi, and their local Telugu language. Uh, so anybody who want to use the screen can use in their language, whatever where they feel comfortable with, and they can avail the services. With Gen AI, we have built up a chatbot which can help the government organizations to citizens to inquire about the services, inquire about the informations in their local languages. Uh, there will be database, there will be a documents in one of the fixed language, maybe in English or Hindi or some local language. But the visitor, the citizen could be comfortable in a very different language. The Gen AI is bridging the gap, understanding the natural language of the person, understanding the language of the document, and responding back in their language they want to. So yes, we are working with the generative AI chatbots. We are working with more models like voice-based response. We are working with video-based response. There will be one AI avatar which will be Gen AI based, will respond back to the person. The person will be actually talking to someone instead of just typing or just exploring things. They are talking in their local language. Consider the case of PSUs, for example, and PSU are having a lot of factories. There are machineries, right? Machine safety documents are written most likely in English, right? But the worker who is working with the machines are comfortable with their local language, and not just the language, their local dialect. That is even more diverse than the language, right? And he is comfortable talking in that language only. So he can go to the screen and ask any question and talk about that. The Gen AI will understand his dialect. Gen AI will understand the English document or the safety document and respond back to all the safety questions and queries they're asking for. So every PSUs for the safety training, they have a norms to do the safety training every few period, month and years, right? So people can need not to have a specific language base. Any language people can take the safety training, learn about that. So these are the things we are working on, and that can be definitely used by various organizations with multilingual system to cater more people, more diverse people with the same screen.
So Ashish, you very rightly said that there's really a need for to have LLMs in these kiosks so that people can easily interact with these models and basically get to know more knowledge about the government policies or the government announcements. Also, a very interesting example that you gave about the machine documents, the how-to document which is there, which is generally printed in English. But if we have the same document in local language, it will be easier for the on-ground workers to basically understand more about the machine, and in case of any emergency can act accordingly. So of course that's a very interesting take. But throughout this conversation till now, we have spoken multiple times about government services and how citizens can avail those services through your digital kiosk. Now, one thing that just comes to my head is, whenever I am going to avail any service, I need to put in some of my data. It could be my personal ID, right? It could be any other data, my bank details, or anything else, which is my personal citizen data. What about that data? How is VirtuBox ensuring that the data is secured and it's not being shared, let's say, across the borders? Or how are you trying to secure that data end to end?
Right. So for any public screens, the safety of data, the security layer is very, very important. And we are considering safety as the foundation of our ecosystem. So we start thinking about the safety first and the feature next. So this is how the VirtuBox is built ground up. So thinking about the security, just take an example of Mi Seva kiosk where you want to get the birth certificate printout. You put your acknowledgement number, the data from this particular device will go to that government server using secure network, secure API connections, secure protocols are being used. Data is not exposed anywhere because they're end-to-end encrypted. Once data came to the device, user make the payment and certificate is printed. Data was always in memory. It was never stored in the device. Since it was never stored in the device, there is no scope of getting data breach or data leaked. So this is how VirtuBox has given the platform that data will not go out of the system. So even if somebody want to do that, the VirtuBox shield of the security will not let anybody take any data out of the system. And this is how we are ensuring that safety is always at the first place. So we always work on the secure network only, secure layer only. So if somebody says that their server is unsecure and they want to integrate with our services, recently, last week itself, there was a client who came and said that they want to have a integration and they didn't have the SL certificate. We said, no, you have to first get the SL certificate because that is the minimum requirement to ensure that our system works. So safety and data security is very important. We consider that as the core of our ecosystem. And this is how we ensure that data doesn't get misused.
So I resonate with that. Safety is the paramount importance, and we need to, first think about the safety. And as you know, the term is there today that security by design. So we need to build our solutions in that fashion that the security is well embedded in the system itself. Now, moving ahead, what is your perspective about smart governance? So when you come up with solutions like digital kiosks, how do you think or how do you see these particular solutions shaping up the future of governance?
So thinking about a smart solution is like getting all the services very efficiently, spending least amount of time for availing that service. If I want to consider the case, if I want to update the address in my Aadhaar, uh, if I have to spend a lot of time going back and forth to the government office, the Aadhaar center or the CSCs, submit my document and then letting us know after some time that cannot be updated because of so and so reason. These are the bottlenecks which are like hindering the stages. Sharing about the data, for example, of the Aadhaar, they get the change request of more than 2 lakh per day. That's the amount of change requests they received for the updation only. And considering the India as a big country, definitely a lot of people require a lot of changes. So this is the scale at which the government organization need to work on. And with the smart solutions, they are expected, they should get more services in a lesser time in more efficient way. So if I need to get Aadhaar address update, I can consider that I am in a village, not in the city like this, where I can do everything very efficiently. If I go to a tier 3, tier 4 cities, or in a village space, if I can go to the center, submit my document and get the address updated very efficient, that will be a wonderful thing. I think it should work in that way. In fact, we are working on some more generative AI, Gen AI models, where for any document updation, you need to submit some document. So submission means like just scanning the document. In VirtuBox solution, we have a scanner integration as well. We have a lot of various hardware integration. Scanner is one of them. You scan the document, our system will run the AI on your scanned document immediately and let you know whether your document is valid or not. Thinking about updating the address in any of the document, if you submit the document the traditional way, after a few days or weeks, you will get to know that your document was invalid because of any reason. For example, considering that you are giving your electricity bill as a document. For the government, any document more than 3 months old is invalid. They need to have within that range. The Gen AI can very efficiently identify whether the document is old or not and can immediately prompt user that you are submitting a wrong document. These are the small but very crucial steps to enhance the e-governance, enhance the smart solution for the government, so that the user get the solution efficiently. Out of 2 lakh submission of the Aadhaar, lot of them are actually submitting wrong document because they were not aware of that. They are submitting, let's say, rent agreement for the Aadhaar address update, which is an invalid document. The Gen AI can effectively process that document and let the people know this is an invalid document. They can immediately get to know instead of waiting for a few weeks and then expecting things to get done and not getting done, right? So this is the advanced, or this is the effective services, the e-governments I'm expecting government should reach in coming years. And this is where VirtuBox is working on, to enable platform with all these plug and play modules which can be integrated with their service and deliver the service to them very efficiently.
So I agree that those little steps that can make life of a citizen easier, especially while they're interacting with the government, actually translates into being a smart governance model. So you very rightly said, and I totally agree with that. So now we come to the last part of this interview. So this conversation has been really interesting till now. Now I want to understand, for VirtuBox, what are your future plans for the year ahead? Let's say, are we awaiting any new launches from VirtuBox? What would you like to share with us?
So we let me start with sharing that what we have already done and where we are heading toward. So we have deployed VirtuBox solution to various museums, zoo, national parks, that police stations, and government offices. At these places, consider example of Niti Aayog kind of place where we have given our kiosk solution. They are running various programs for the people. They have compiled all the information and displayed on the kiosk where any visitor can explore and find out what are the services what are the services the government has done for them. For Mi Seva, as I already mentioned. For the museum, we have given a solution for ticketing kiosk. Sounds very simple, but before this solution, people used to be in long queue to get the ticket for entry into the museum. This became a problem at the peak season of the holiday days, where kids came to the museum to enjoy the space or learn about the new things or the historical information, but they have to spend a lot of time on the queue. Instead of that, now they're just going to the screen. The screen is on all the time from the morning till the evening, no break, no lunch time, no downtime. And they're effectively reducing the load of the end user and staff, also the government staff who were previously working on the desk to deliver service to the citizens. So this is what people are doing. We have given kiosks to the zoo, to the national park, where once you go there, you see the bird, you see the cat, you see the animals, but you want to know more about that particular species, because that species is very unique to find in the museum or in some few locations. You can just explore on the screen and get more information about that particular species especially. These kind of things we have already developed. Going forward, what we are targeting or we are working on with the robots, with Gen AI, that somebody go, instead of touching on the screen, they can just talk to the robot. It knows everything. It can tell you about the animal in the zoo. It can tell you everything what you want to know about that. And since the generative AI having a very wonderful understanding about the natural language processing, they can understand your statement, they can respond back in your language. That's a very important part. Anybody coming to that place can talk in their language. Talking about generative AI, talking about the generative AI in the public screens like Miss Eva I mentioned, talking about the self-service kiosk, talking about the operational kiosk with Gen AI to efficiently make. And we are working on that. We are working with the robot, we are working with the chatbot. We are also working with screens of different use case, which means you can have a registration kiosk. We already have registration kiosk. We already have a queue management kiosk. We already have a navigation kiosk for a bigger space. If you go to a very big space, for example, Lal Killa or any such place, you want to know where exactly this particular stuff is, you can just navigate to that information. These are already embedded in our ecosystem. Going forward, we are enhancing that to the next level. We are enhancing with the natural language processing. We are enhancing with the robotic engagement for a better, for a more enhanced user experience. That's what we are working on. We are working hard to reach to that level where people can just think about a service and they can get that immediately. A person goes to the screen, the AI can maybe, like in future, it can biometrically scan you, identify you who you are, and immediately help you with the services, immediately let you know what are the problems you have, probably you need to solve that. For example, if I go to a screen, let's consider the future where I went to space, there is a robot who just sees me and let me know that your passport is going to expire in this particular time, you have income tax of this much and you need to pay, or something like that, because they know me. So obviously the security, that the personal information need to be taken care of, that we are already considering at the core. But these are the things which will help people. So I went to ask something, but they are telling me directly instead of me asking them. And this is how the AI is. If you just open any AI model, right, and talk to something, they know what the next question is going to be. Google know more than what you know about yourself. And this is what we are building for future, for the citizens of India, for the government services.
Thank you, Ashish. That was really a very insightful conversation that I had with you. Although the future which you just talked about, that that the bot knows more than what I know about myself, and can just scan my face and give me some data like my income tax returns are pending, or this or particular, let's say, about my government ID or my job profile or anything like that. Although it looks like it's a little far-fetched future, at least where we are right now, but it also looks very kind of scary that
Yes.
the bot there kind of knows everything about you and can sometimes reveal information which you don't want to be revealed, you don't want to be in the public space. But yeah, every technology, or let's say every coin has two sides. Similarly, every technology is a double-edged sword. It has its own pros and cons. So let's see how the future unfolds. Let's see how Gen AI like technologies is shaping up our future and the future of governance. Thank you for this, such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Adarsh. This is a wonderful session talking to you about the government initiative or government digital India plans and how VirtuBox can contribute into this ecosystem. Thank you so much.